and welcome back to my channel, and also welcome to the first episode of Leaving Home, a video series of mine where I am interviewing and sharing the stories of refugees from all around the world. In today's interview, I will be talking to Heba and Nour, two young sisters from Syria. They were born and raised in Syria, and they lived a very rich and luxurious life there back then because of the very high-ranking position their dad had in the military at that point. Then, when the war in Syria started at a very young age, they had to leave their entire life and family and home behind and flee to Turkey, where they lived in a container in a refugee home for over 2 years. And people in the refugee camp were starting to go missing, and they were scared that the government would find them, so they had to flee again, taking a boat from Turkey to Greece in the middle of the night, where they almost didn't make it back to shore. They then lived in Greece in different refugee homes for a couple of months, and then managed to come here to Germany, where they are living now today and building up their life. I am so excited to have these two on here today and share their story with you. At this point, thank you so much to the City of Constance for supporting me with this project. And yeah, without any further talking, let's get right on into the interview. Can you two start by introducing yourself to me as if I didn't know you? So just say your age, maybe, your name.
I am Heba and I'm 16 years old, and as you know, I'm from Syria.
My name is Nour. I'm also from Syria. I will be 19.
So let's start right at the beginning. Can you guys just kind of tell me what your life was like in Syria until you had to leave?
Yeah, in Syria the life was really good. We had everything we wanted. We could have it, so we didn't have problems.
But you lived a pretty good life, no? Because
yes.
Your dad was in the military, so you lived well. So were very well.
We also had activities. For example, we were riding bikes. We were doing tennis, swimming.
So then when the war started, how do you remember the time when the war started?
I'd say in the beginning, the revolution has started, and that was not in our city where we were living. Yeah, it was really not okay because they were killing the people in the streets and I don't know what, and that was really, as a child, you cannot forget that stuff.
We had to leave Aleppo and go to Deir Zor, where my father was working at, and I saw a helicopter was dropping bombs on the city, so we were living outside of the city.
Well, basically that was also really very hard because we were living in the countryside, let's say. And we were watching.
Oh, you could see it from your house. You could see the city.
Yeah.
And there was my grandma's house,
Wow.
That was really. And then we have seen it, and our grandma, aunties, and uncles
all living in the city.
There, yeah.
And did your mom explain to you guys what was happening?
She was shocked, and she didn't want to tell us what is really happening because we were children.
Yes, of course.
And as a mother, you don't know what to say,
Yes.
Can you explain to me what was the specific reason why you guys and your family had to leave? Was it because it wasn't just the war, no? It was also because your dad didn't want to be part of it?
Yeah, so as we told you, my father was a general in the army.
He was a high general, no?
Yeah, so he had to tell all the soldiers what they had to do, like to bomb that city, and he didn't want to do that. So he decided to go out of Syria, like to leave the whole army.
What was the time like before you had to leave, but when you already knew you were going to leave soon?
Well, we didn't really think that we are going to leave Syria. So we knew that we had to go to another city in Syria, but we didn't think about leaving Syria.
Okay.
At the point where my mom told us that we have to leave Syria, it was real hard for me, and I was not that prepared to go to Turkey, so I didn't want to go there at the beginning, and I didn't believe it.
How was the journey like to get to Turkey? Like, what was that like? Oh,
I still remember I had a ring in my hand, and we were in a bus, like small bus.
And who was with you at that point? So it was you two?
My mom and the siblings.
Right. So your mom was alone at that point with 5 young kids. Okay, that's crazy.
We were the whole time like really scared because we didn't know what will happen,
Of course.
Yeah, and my mom was crying at that time, and I also was crying. I was crying because of losing my friends. I have to start everything from the beginning. I don't know why. It was dangerous and it was really long. It was like for 2 days.
While you were in Turkey, were you just kind of like accepting the situation and just kind of dealing with it? Or did you have hope or dreams at that point that you wanted to leave Turkey or build a life somewhere else? Because you guys went from two extremes. You went from like this rich life in Syria, money, hobbies, house, family, to like living in a refugee camp in Turkey. How was that for you?
It was very hard at the beginning because it's a refugee camp. Our life standard was really bad, so we were living in a container.
How many people lived in one container?
I think 5 people. And in 1.5 we were 7 people.
Oh, because you were 5 kids and 2 parents, so you got 1.5. How big was one container?
It was 9 meters long and the width was 3 meters.
Wow.
So it was really, really small.
Really small.
We had a public bathroom, so we had to go outside of the container to a public bathroom.
How many people shared one bathroom?
Everyone.
Everyone?
Yes, everyone. In that camp there was over 3,000 people. Yeah, so it was really, really hard in Turkey. So we had to deal with that. We had to live with that situation because it was at the beginning very new for us. The education there was really, really bad. Yeah, so we would wake up at the morning and then go to school and then come back, eat and go outside to play and play and play the whole time.
Yeah,
and
because you didn't have anything to do.
No.
So what were you playing? Like, what did you come up with at that point?
Like we were drawing on the ground and we had made some games by ourselves.
How did you get along with other people in the camp? Like, because it was such a cramped situation, everyone was on edge, everyone was in panic and fear. Did you get along, or were there a lot of conflicts? Especially because you guys you were living with another family.
So we had our container, we were living in this container, but in the other half we were
just
putting our stuff over there. So we were closing it and we had problems with that family.
With that family?
Yeah, because they were not understanding. They wanted to take more place as
That was really strange.
so we had very much problems with them, but they were not nice. So
They
that's
were.
why.
And with the other people in the camp, did you get along with them?
There was many problems between each family and the other ones.
So how long were you guys in Turkey?
3 years.
And then you left at some point. Can you tell me about the circumstances that were happening in Turkey when you left? Also, why you left? Like, where did that decision come from?
Well, this decision came from my dad because he had friends from the camp, and 3 friends of him
We're just lost.
Yeah. They wanted to go to the hospital and they were just lost. So
wait, let me understand.
Came and took them. We don't really know.
So your dad had 3 people in the camp who were also in the military with him.
Yeah.
And they were doing the same thing like your dad, like they didn't want to be part of the war.
Yeah.
Then you guys left Syria, then you left Turkey. How did you feel when you were leaving? Were you glad to finally be out of there, or was there a sadness because you'd been there for so long?
It was good and hard at the same time. I didn't want to lose my friends for the second time.
And that day where we left, the whole school came after us, the teachers, everyone was crying. I was also crying. And I had lots of bags, but I couldn't take them with me,
Oh, how much of your stuff were you able to take when you were leaving?
Just one
bag.
Yeah.
So you had to leave all your things behind that you had at that point.
Yeah.
So then you guys left Turkey. Can you tell me more about the journey? Because you were going from Turkey to Greece. What was the journey like from Turkey to Greece?
We went to Bodrum and we stayed there, I think, for 10 days or 12? 15 days.
That was the city from where you would take the boat then to Greece.
The person who was doing this, who was organizing this, had the money.
Yeah.
And then he said, no, we are just like 20 people. And then at that day, we were just like 70 people.
On one boat?
Yeah.
How big was the boat?
9 meters.
No, I think smaller.
70 people on 7 meters. How is that even physically possible?
Yeah, we were over each other.
Yeah.
Some
Oh my
people on the
God.
ground. And it was not a normal boat, so it was from balloon.
And then the motor just like destroyed, I don't know what. And
The motor stopped working.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, you were 70 people on a...
Yeah, it took very long and we thought that we are on the water which belongs to Greece, but it wasn't. So as we called the police for the sea, the Turkish police came to us and we were, oh my god, we are going back to Turkey.
When you're on the way there, if you're still on the Turkish side, then you have to go back. But if you're already on the Greek side, then they have to take you in. But so the boat stopped working like midway, like literally in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
It just stopped working.
Yeah.
You have just seen just water around you.
Who was driving the boat then?
Someone
who was also wanting to go to Greece.
Yeah, but he didn't know how to drive. He just learned.
Oh.
They showed him.
Yeah. And then you guys called the police, but sadly the Turkish police came. What did they do?
No, they took us
back. Oh, they took us back to the Turkish side.
Yeah. And then they took us, and then they told us, if you give us money, we will let you go to Izmir from another point that we can try again.
Oh my god.
Which takes way too long to get to Greece, like longer than what?
Like 4 hours.
Oh.
It was very hard because at the second time the boat stopped and we were just only trying to not show any light.
Was it dark at that point?
It was very dark.
Was it at nighttime?
It was midnight.
The boat ride was in the nighttime.
Yeah.
That was just like 2 a.m.
Yes. And then you would the motor stopped working, and so you were paddling with your hands at that point.
There was waves are taking us back
on the Turkish side. And that was 4.5 hours. So then, okay, tell me. So
6 hours.
6 hours. Yeah. And then you were trying to paddle, and then how did you get to Greece?
We called the police. And it was hard because of the network.
I was thinking like in the middle of the ocean, how do you have network there?
Magic.
Wow. Damn. Yeah. And then the Greek police found you and they took you to the Greek side.
So we sent location.
In the beginning they took the children and the woman.
Yeah.
And then they took the man.
At both times when we tried to go to Turkey, to Greece, I wasn't sitting with my family, so I was sitting in a complete, I was alone.
The thing is, one time, that was the first time from boardroom, Sarah and my older sister was not in the boat. At the last second, she was in the boat. Like in the beginning, we didn't see her.
It is unsafe. There was not enough place. We were too many people. It is a balloon, even though it costed like really a lot.
How much did they charge?
Each child, I think we had to pay $1,000.
No, even more.
More.
Wow.
Yeah.
What I hate is that the person who was doing this, he is lying at you.
To say we're only going to be 20 people and then he put 70 people in a
I mean, there are children, there are women who were pregnant, you know.
And he didn't know if the 70 people he has put on the boat were going to die because he put too many people and he just didn't care. That is not understandable.
It was very possible that
you were going to die
or got lost.
Yeah, or someone falls over.
He just wanted to have his money.
Yeah. And there were pregnant women. Like, that is crazy.
I want to say something, but I forget.
So then you arrived in Athens and then they took you to the refugee camp?
No, we were 15 days in the street.
And we didn't even take a shower.
For 15 days?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Even longer, because in the island we couldn't take a shower.
How did you go from the tents on the street to the refugee camp? Did they take you?
Yeah, so there was a person who's called George. My mom knew him.
And he was really handsome.
Yeah, he is really handsome. But he helped all of the women who are pregnant and the women who are there with children, with no man.
And then he took the families
to the
with
camp.
no man.
But the camp was really good, I would say, comparing to other
That
camps.
was like when you go on holidays.
Oh, wow.
It was houses on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
it was really
nice.
good. It was really, really nice, but it was really small. We were too many people, but we had to deal with that situation.
How long were you in Greece then in total?
For 1.5 years.
1.5 years. So how was that there? Tell me more about that.
There was volunteers from all around the world, and we've built together a school to learn because we couldn't go to school. There was no school. We painted the schools and the walls. It was really nice there.
And so did that feel like a little bit of a sign of hope that your living conditions were getting better?
It was the hardest time, but it was the best time.
Yeah.
Why? The hardest and the best?
The hardest because we didn't have our father, like we didn't know anybody there. But at the same time, without Greece, I wouldn't be Heba that I am today.
That made me really strong. When I've seen like what does it mean to be like poor or something like that, you know, then I see what how hard it is.
And you understood your privilege that you had when you went there. I get it. So then you left Turkey and then no,
Greece.
then you left Greece and then you went to Germany. How was the journey from Greece to Germany?
Yeah, we came by the airplane because
Oh,
we
you
had
flew.
our passports.
How were your living conditions here? Were you living in a refugee camp again, or
For 2 years. Yeah, so it was hard at the beginning because for the fourth time we had to start everything from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like new language, new culture, new people. Everything was new. New
In the
city.
beginning, I was like, what I'm doing here.
your parents and your dad had this vision that he wanted, because he was here already before in Germany, he wanted to bring you and his family here, and he wanted to build up a better life here. Did they find what they expected from Germany?
Well, my parents not, but as children, yes. For example, my dad can't work. What was his doing in Syria, and like in military and so
And
on.
he had a really good job there, and your mom as well, so that must be so difficult to come here and literally not be able to work, not be able to do what you're good at, not be able to speak the language.
You know?
Especially here, it's different for us. Like in normal life, parents take care about their children, but now we have to take care about my parents.
Yeah, and I think many people don't get that like, you know what I mean? You don't voluntarily leave your life as a dad and your job to come here. You only do that when your family is like at risk to survive. I think many people don't get that.
I don't know why the people think that way. This is really sad, but you know, that's the truth.
Can you tell me about your daily life like here now? What's your life like? What do you do every day?
Do many stuff for volunteering.
You have a lot of hobbies here now, and you do a lot of things.
I'm a group leader and I am teacher in the mosque.
Tell me more about your hobbies.
Outside of school, I was swimming, kickboxing, music classes. I am with the Maltese, also a group leader and a sanitary. I translate for my parents.
Yeah. As I told you guys, the video project is also a collaboration between me and the city Constance, where you guys are living now. And they wanted me to specifically ask you guys, when you arrived here, you could also give feedback from the things that you felt like were done well, but you also have some criticism for other people who will come here regarding things they could do better.
Speak to them in English. At the beginning, they will learn German by the time. Like, don't be that hard to them. Give people chances because not everyone is not that good.
For me, when I wanted to make my Realschulabschluss, like, there were 2-3 teachers who said, no, you cannot do this. Then I said, no, I will make it. And then I came after 1 year, like, here is my Realschulabschluss.
What are your dreams, hopes, or goals for the future here?
Well, I always wanted to be a businesswoman.
Yeah.
So I hope that I will be a businesswoman in the future.
And you, what do you want to do?
Maybe a teacher as my mom or a dentist.
Ooh. I love that. At the end of every video and every interview, I always ask the same question. I basically would love to know if you could reach every single person on the entire world. Like, you could talk to every single one and you would be able to say one message or one thing that you would want to share. What would that be for both of you?
You can do everything you want. Just believe in yourself. Always there's people who want to bring you down, of course. Ignore them.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
your
nice.
own way.
Yeah.
If you want to make something you want, you can really do it. If you want really to, you can achieve everything you want. But if you want to.
You have to. Yeah.
And don't judge people from their cover.
That's amazing. Thank you so much
you
for sharing your
too.
story. I'm so honored.
Done.